coming up ahead is Superstar Achievers. Yes, we turn bullish on what is young entrepreneurship. Lara Balsara from Madison World joins us in just a few seconds as a daughter in the boardroom.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Tonight on the most watched business news channel in this country.
That's right. And our new series is also picking up a lot of interest. Superstar Achievers. We talked to Lara Balsara of Madison, for who risk is reward.
She might have been born with the proverbial silver spoon, but this young entrepreneur believes in hard work and has the passion to make her mark in the industry. The petite Lara Balsara started as a management trainee and is now at the helm of the Madison World, negotiating and signing mergers worth crores of rupees. Lara's forte is diversification, and she's built Madison from an advertising company to a communication conglomerate.
Okay, Lara Balsara joins us live right now. Hi, Lara. Let's get straight to that story. As our as our reporter just pointed out, that you've been one lady who wants to do a big diversification drive. As a young achiever, what do you think you contributed to the business at Madison?
Well, I'm not so sure if I would call myself an achiever, but I guess what I've done for Madison is, I think, first of all, to come up with the vision of grouping all our companies and our various businesses and bringing them together to form Madison World. So that would be one, and the other one would be Madison was earlier known more for its media business. So I guess what we've tried to do is position it more as a diversified communication group and trying to address any communication need of any large enlightened clients. So we've tried to break away from just being a media planning and buying agency to being a complete communication solution provider, and offering clients various services ranging from advertising to PR to business analytics to sports management, so that way.
Fair point. That's the stuff you've done, but what are your benchmarks for achievement, Lara? How would you define them differently from others?
I think all the things that I said, so that in a way is a sense of achievement. I think it gives you a different high, the sort of work that I do gives me, I think, a different high what no amount of partying or would give you.
Okay, interesting. But was it the silver spoon syndrome? Did you feel it all the time that it fell in your lap, as many might have made the assumption as they meet you, talk to you, or basically you thought that it was a project, it was a plan that was all ready and you just had to scale it up?
No, I think you've asked me this question before, and I don't think there has been a silver spoon. In fact, I had to work harder and prove myself because all eyes were on me, and I had to definitely prove myself. So there was no silver spoon as such. My dad strongly believes in working hard, so I was put to the test, and I think I've delivered.
So you have to prove yourself. But is it a story today of the daughter in the boardroom? Is she out there? Is she putting out her big voice?
Yes, it is. I guess, yeah, you could say daughters in the boardroom, but I think also there's no place for a daughter or a son in the boardroom. There's only place for professionals in the boardroom. So when you're at work, you're expected, your work is supposed to speak for itself, and you're expected to deliver. So I wouldn't say there is anything as a daughter or a son in the boardroom, but it is a professional in the boardroom and at the workplace.
Okay, Lara, tell us, what is it like to have Big Daddy Sam Balsara in the next cabin? Do you at times get intimidated? Do you think his work will end up overshadowing yours?
No, I think it is a blessing. So he's always there as a guiding star. So I think I'm fortunate. So while I'm given the opportunity to come up with my own ideas and implement some of those, there's also his experience that he brings to the table. So he is always like a guiding star.
But do you guys disagree on stuff? And if so, what do you guys typically disagree on?
There's no one thing that we disagree on, but I guess we have our moments when we disagree. I can't put a finger to some particular issue that we disagree about.
Okay. So I don't know if your dad's standing right there trying to distract you, but was there a moment when you didn't want to do this, didn't want to join the dad's company, you wanted to do something different, and if so, what?
No, I think for me it was again, I guess it was a natural progression, Shaili, because since I've been exposed to this world since a very young age. My dad used to bring work home. I used to hear his long conversations since I was very young. So I've grown up into this, so I guess it's like a natural progression. So it's not like I wanted to do something else and I was forced to get into this. It was my own decision.
Have there been moments with you, Lara, times when clients and customers don't take you seriously? We see that happening, when a lot of clients and customers don't take young CEOs too seriously.
No, I don't think so. At least I haven't been exposed to an environment where a young person's views are not taken seriously. I think we are given in our industry is all about young people. So I think if a young person has a good idea, I think organizations will listen to them. Of course, you can't take away from the experience that an older person brings to the table. So I don't feel, at least in our industry, that it's good to be young, in fact, in our industry.
Okay, it's good to be young. Then obviously it's either good or it's risky to take a risk. What does risk mean to you? How important do you think it is for your strategy?
I think it's one of our Madison principles of if it's safe, it's risky. So we at an organization level believe that we need to take some risk, and if we play it safe, that's like taking the biggest risk. So we believe in taking risk, and it's safe. I mean, the biggest risk is not to take any risk.
Couldn't agree more with you there, Lara, but tell us, what are the top 3 things that you'd like to do before you die?
What would I do if I was the Prime Minister? Okay, I've never thought of that, but I think I would focus something and try to get rid of corruption and try to put a system in place to curb corruption, if not get rid of it completely, at least put a system in place to curb it to some extent.
What do you do normally when you've got free time and whole load of money? How do you spend it? What's the splurge story at Lara's idea?
No, I think I'm not dying to do anything that I've not done already, but I guess top 3 fun things for me would be traveling, shopping and buying lots of shoes, and eating lots and lots of chocolate. And all 3 things I always do, and whenever I get the opportunity I do those things. So I'm contented.
Well, on the shoe front, you certainly sound like me. That's one thing I would do without.
Chocolates as well, Shaili.
Chocolates. I have sometimes watched them, right? Shoes I don't have to watch. I can buy without guilt.